Coming at you. Pedalman got a package in the mail today. Drinking some near beers. It's a weeknight, school night. Cheers. So, let's get into it. Mike from Canada, proud sponsor of Pedalman. And right from Ukraine, Crop Knives, Orange Guy. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see what we got happening. There's some loose pedals. Alright. Make sure I get good use of these knives. Let's see, we all know what this guy is. I've had him for a little bit. Let's see what these little dudes are. So what do we got? This little green guy. Something called an overdrive. Okay. We'll have to get this guy fired up. I like the color. If I ask my kids to say my favorite color is green. And this guy, what is that? At first I thought it was a kangaroo upside down, but it's definitely not a kangaroo. It's a centaur with a big hatchet that he's holding like a spear. That doesn't make... Look at the way the guy's holding that thing. That doesn't make sense. He should be holding it more like he's going to chop wood, not throw a javelin. But anyway, you can see Mike had it last. The gains on max. Surprised the output was maxed out. Maybe it was. Oh yeah, here's this one. This one's maxed out. Mike from Canada. Should be called, I think your name should be Maximum Volume Mike. Max Volume. Anyway, that's that. We'll prepare my setup. We'll get her all slammed together. And we'll have some fun. Cheers. Alright, so we got everything prepared and set back up. Usual, into the wah, and then into the Swiss things. This time I've got the expression pedal plugged into the Swiss things as a volume pedal. As long as I don't forget that I hit it heel down and I got no volume, and I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with it because it's happened before. As long as I remember that, I have to toe down for volume. And then for the drive channel or loop in the Swiss things, I got my two little experimental ones. What's this guy called? The Golden Horse. The Golden Horse guy, and a nice bright blue LED light. And then it's going to go into the aptly named Overdrive, little green guy. Nice red light. And then I always like my overdrives into a fuzz, so I went with the Javelina. And this time, let's see what it sounds like, see what's going on. Then it goes back into the Swiss things, and for modulation, I mixed it up quite a bit. And for once, there's no delay, but I got it going into the spatial delivery envelope filter first, and then into the Hydra tremolo / reverb. I couldn't decide which one of these I wanted to put first. Both these pedals seem to work better at the front of the chain, ahead of some other different modulation. But yeah, so I went with that order to see what it sounds like. Haven't tried it out yet, but we'll figure it out eventually. And then into the Corona if I want some shimmer on there. So that's the setup. Boom. Okay, so we've been playing the Overdrive and the, what's this thing called? The Golden Horse for a little bit. Initial reviews before we get to some tones is, I don't like the button clicks. They're really hard to push on. All the pedals I've got recently are soft click buttons, and you just get a little tap and they work great. These ones you really gotta push on them. There's a very satisfying click when you get to the bottom on both of them, so you know when it's engaged, but you can tell when it's not engaged. But you got to give a bit more force than the other ones, and I don't like it. But all that aside, the Overdrive is just like any other Overdrive. There doesn't seem like to be anything special about that one. The tone control acts just like your tone control on your guitar. It seems to just be your regular standard Overdrive. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that it doesn't do anything really special, but it does good overdrive. Sounds wonderful. The Golden Horse is a little different. It's got some, I don't know if twang's the right word for it, but it's got something that makes it stand out from the rest of the other overdrives. I do like how instead of a tone, it's a treble. You got a treble control, and it is effectively a treble cut. So the more you crank it, the more treble it gets. The less you crank it, the less treble it has. The tone doesn't really change, and I like how, even despite I don't usually like a lot of my settings treble high, but with this one, it adds a lot of sparkle, and it sounds really nice. Into the Javelina, which is how I normally like to run overdrives, because it's just fun that way. They both kind of do the same. They don't work so great. They get kind of harsh sounding when I have the Javelina on, and the overdrives isn't so bad when I have the overdrive set to mid-gain, which is where they both seem to do the nicest. When you put into higher gain, they start to create a lot of feedback, which to some people is probably desirable, but for me it doesn't really work so well. So anyway, let's have a listen. Gotta plug it in first. Boom! There we go. A little quick tune, make sure we're all good to go. Good enough, good enough. And yeah, so this is the clean tone. And we'll go with the regular overdrive first, mid-gain. I did low gain, mid-gain, and high gain on all of them, or both of them. And the low gain is like pointless. It's not don't really do anything for me. I shouldn't say pointless. I'm sure somebody finds a use for it, but for me, I like. See, look at this tap 2 times. Nothing to get push hard on that son of a bitch. If you had a key in here, you notice that nothing happened. That's because I didn't turn the loops on. So that's the overdrive. Sounds like a nice overdrive. And at mid-gain, the Golden Horse thingy sounds very similar. A little bit less gain, but really nice sound. It has something to it that I like, that grabs my attention more than the regular overdrives. And I wouldn't want to use it as a regular overdrive because it just sounds a little different. When you crank the treble up, she gets right snappy. Decent. Cheers. And with the fuzz on, it's quite gnarly sounding. And when you kick the overdrive on, so if you do a little without the overdrive, it's a little harsh on the ears, a little bit, but some people might like it, but it doesn't do it for me. A little bit too harsh, and if you turn the tone down, it doesn't do a whole lot. It's still kind of harsh. And if you go up higher, she starts. Now that's a pretty good, fully saturated tone. I don't know. Doesn't speak to me. This one, I'll just leave it at mid-drive. Sounds really nice. This adds something to it that the other one doesn't seem to have. Really nice lead tone for strumming out power chords. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. But the lead is deadly, and then if you want to get brave, she starts to feed back. You got some massive gain. That sounds pretty good, pretty decent. And so that's it. That's my review of the aptly named Overdrive, which is like an overdrive should be, and the clone, the Golden Horse. I think I like the Golden Horse more. It adds something that regular overdrives don't have.
Dad.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Feed Leon.
We can feed him, yeah.
Okay, who's talking about?
The camera, aka Mike McIntyre. Mike from Canada. You want to say hi?
Hi, it's upside
It's
down.
It's pointed at the ground. That's why. You want to say hi?
Yeah. Wait, is he watching?
No. We're recording.
Hello.
Okay. Bye-bye. Anyway, that's a little interruption from Hunter, but it's a good interruption. And back to talking about the pedals. So the overdrive, it's like an overdrive. If I needed another one, it would be great to have it, but I got a small collection of overdrives, and nothing different with the Klon one. The Klon clone, that's something different than an overdrive. It's got some different, it's the treble control, or whatever the circuit is. It's nicer, it's more fun. I don't think I'd use it much for a rhythm, but I would definitely use it feeding it into one of the fuzz pedals that I have. Anyway, that's that, my friend. So appreciate it. I'll play with these for a bit longer. I'm not going to mail them back right away. I'm going to use them for a little bit, mix and match with some other stuff, and then I'll send them back. And then let me know when you get that ringworm and how it works out. Peace.